Now, I'm not saying vampires are real, but metaphorically, energy vampires are very real. And these are those people who come into a room, they complain about everything is negative that comes out of their mouth, and it just sucks all of the energy out of the room. It is exhausting. And often that energy vampire comes from our own mind. When we get into a dark place, when we criticize everything, when we stand in opposition to everything in the world. And sometimes it's difficult. We're presented with so much messaging that we feel like we have to take a position and we have to either be for or against whatever is being presented to us. There's advertisements and messaging constantly bombarding our attention. And the thing with energy vampires is that they can only suck the energy from people whose positivity and joyfulness is on shaky grounds, who are willing to give their energy over to an energy vampire. And the way to deal with these negative people who constantly complain when we are unable to get away from them is to remember that they can only take the energy you give them. And so what we can do is, instead of creating any reaction which gives energy, we allow whatever is to be. We don't resist and hate their negativity, and in fact complain about their complaining. And we also don't try to bring them up and give them all of our positive energy. And we just allow them to be. And we give no energy to a complaining person. It's like engaging in an argument with a child. It's not necessary, and it's only going to frustrate you. There is no winning with little children in trying to talk rationally. And it's the same way when we're presented with an energy vampire. And it's the same, it's like arguing with a crazy person. We become crazy if we try to do that. Like, it is only going to disturb our inner peace if we choose to engage in an argument where there is no chance of winning. And with people who are constantly complaining, it's the same thing. And we can practice allowing things to be without taking a stand for or against. Taking a stand only solidifies the ego, and it strengthens its identity, its personality that it is created and crafted. And knowing what we are in opposition to is what helps the ego define who it is. It needs something to usually be against, but often for as well. And this is how it crafts its sense of self. But we all know that that ego isn't real and doesn't bring us any joy or any peace. It simply furthers the egoic thinking, that sense of me, that I. And the bigger that gets, the bigger target we create for it to be hurt, and it becomes both narcissistic and insecure, as narcissism tends to be. And it needs constant praise, and the slightest criticism is just a nuclear bomb to the ego, and it will react with anger and suffering. And same thing with energy vampires. The bigger our ego, the more energy they have to suck. And so the best thing we can do is to practice letting be. Notice the ego's need to comment on every little thing. And as that comment starts to arise, practice just letting whatever happens be. This doesn't mean saying yes to everything or saying no to everything. It simply means witnessing without labeling. And it is really the only way to see reality as it really is, because as soon as we put a label on something, as soon as we accept or reject, we are creating a filter through which we see the world. And it is only going to be a insufficient representation of reality. And the more we practice observing without labeling, and this can be done easily as we walk through a park and we notice a tree. Instead of being the word tree, we really take it in, and not as if we've seen it before, but we really look. And when we look with these fresh eyes, everything becomes new and vibrant. And we can even apply that once we've practiced just observing without labeling. We can apply that to complainers, and we can witness, and nothing can disturb our inner peace, because it's really the labeling mind, that monkey mind, that has to categorize and filter everything, that causes all of the inner disturbance. And when our mind can just settle and rest, we bring peace into our lives. We bring joy into our lives that nothing can disturb, because there is no need for things to be a certain way. And we just appreciate everything. And that is the way to deal with negative complainers, or as I like to call them, energy vampires. So, you don't need to wear a garlic necklace, just let it be.